Northwest University's Mafikeng campus. This is the place where we're going to launch the National Science Week. The Minister of Science and Technology, Mrs. Naledi Pandor, will officially launch National Science Week from the 1st to the 8th of August. And we're talking all things science. Now, speaking of science and relationships, let's bring into our conversation Professor Dan Khwadi, who's the Vice Chancellor of the Northwest University. Sir, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning.
Talk to us about the relationship between the university and the Department of National Science and Technology.
We've got a very healthy relationship. In fact, very good support that we get from DST. That is for all our research projects, ranging from astrophysics to astronomy, and it goes all the way to even supporting science and students at schools.
Speak to us more about those research projects and what is the outcome of those research projects.
Definitely, in terms of astronomy, we have got projects like the SKA that we participate in. And in terms of science, we have got projects like pharmaceutical projects. We've got projects like even food production that we participate in. You can tell that they range from all the way from up out there and to down to earth projects as far as food production is concerned.
Are we producing enough scientists, enough astrophysicists?
We would love to produce more. They can never be enough, but we're doing a very good contribution.
Having a conversation with Dr. Sandile Ngobo earlier, he raised an issue about are we putting enough money into science? How do we also get around that without having to wait for the government to, do something about it?
Yes, that's where we really want industry to come in as well. And indeed, there is a good attempt for industry to participate in terms of assisting in funds. I know quite well that companies like Sasol also do put their bit in terms of sponsoring students and sponsoring research centers at universities.
What other fields are there available? For me, science was this foreign thing, and it was just difficult. How do we make it accessible and easier and more and sexy to look at?
Well, I think the science center is very important. We've got science centers across the country, and as the province and as the university, we've got 2 science centers here that really bring science to life and start to entice students in a very practical way to the fields, various fields in science, and not only in science, but in engineering as well.
Talk to us about the theme, light and light-based technologies. What does that even mean?
Well, that is, I would say, in very simple terms, it must really bring science to the students in a very simple way. Start with a simple technology like light itself. You can imagine without light. Light is actually, even in the beginning, we know God said, let there be light, and the rest followed. So light and light technologies are very important in the rest of science and engineering and technology as well.
How do these worlds work together, and how do they, all marry light, science, technology, engineering?
Yes, you can imagine how it starts all the way with astronomy, with solar energy, how you bring all those to simple projects like production of energy, how you convert your energy from the sun that you can actually use in a domestic sense.
Okay, so let's talk about the position that you hold as well. What has been the highlight of, embarking on this project and taking on this position of Vice Chancellor?
Oh, the most important thing is really to serve the students, to see how we can actually contribute as a university to bringing the rare skills, especially to the rural part of the country that we serve in. The Northwest is predominantly rural, so it serves a very important role.
What do we expect to happen here in the campus today? And I know there's events as well, the Potchefstroom and the Voltranker, but what is going to happen here?
We expect students to come in great numbers. And of course, there will also be attempts to bring specifically those that are from the rural part of the province to come and interact with scientists, to come and be part of the projects that are actually bringing science life to them.
We know of the reality that, some students will study science but not even be inside a lab or have never seen, all these apparatus that need to be used. What do you find? How do you then bridge that gap when somebody, has passed a matric, they were really good at matric, but they've never been inside a lab and they come to you?
That's exactly what the science centers are all about, so that we can give them that first-hand experience. And what is good is that our science center has got a mobile aspect as well. They can actually follow students, and they can actually go to some of the rural schools to go and perform some demonstrations. And we know it's not only science centers from the university. There are many projects from SASTA as well that are also working towards the same endeavor.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for talking to us. Professor Dan Khwari is the Vice Chancellor at the Northwest University, talking to us about what we can expect here today. We are, if you're wondering where we are, we're in the Northwest. We're at the Mafikeng campus of the Northwest University for the launch of National Science Week. Let's take an break. Stay with us.